Friends and viewers, D.H.Lawrence had written many outstanding novels, including The Sons and Lover, The Rainbow, The Peacock, The Plum Serpent, and one of the best and controversial novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H.Lawrence, David Herbert Lawrence. And this is also remained a very controversial novels throughout its time. Later on, it was the ban was lifted from this novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover. This is the name of this novel by D.H. Lawrence, David Herbert Lawrence. So the story of this Lady Chatterley begins like introducing Connie Reed. Connie Reed, the female protagonist of this novel, she was raised as a cultured bohemian of the upper middle class and was introduced to love affairs, intellectual and sexual license. As a teenager in 1917, at 23, she marries Clifford Chatterley, the scion of an aristocratic line. After a month's honeymoon, he is sent to war and return paralyzed from the waist down, impotent. Then what happened after the war? Clifford became a successful writer and many intellectuals flocked to the Chatterley's mansion, Ragby. Connie feels isolated. The vaunted intellectual prove empty and bloodless. She resorts to a brief and dissatisfying affair with the visiting playwright, Michaelis. Connie longs for a real human contact and falls into despair. As all men seem scared of the true feeling and true passion, there is a growing distance between Connie and Clifford, who has retreated into the meaningless pursuit of success in his writing and in his obsession with coal mining, and toward whom Connie feels a deep physical aversion. A nurse, Mrs. Bolton, is hired to take care of that handicapped Clifford so that Connie can be more independent. And Clifford falls into a deep dependence on the nurse, his manhood fading into an infantile reliance. Into the void of Connie's life comes Oliver Mellors, the game picker, his lover, her lover, the Lady Chatterley's lover, Oliver Mellor, the gamekeeper on Clifford Estate, newly returned from serving in the army. Mellor is aloof and derisive, and yet Connie feels curiously drawn to him by his innate nobility and grace, his purposeful isolation, his undercurrent of natural sensuality. After several chance meetings in which Mellor keeps her at arm's length, remaining her of the class distance between them. They meet by chance at a hut in the forest where they have sex. This happens on several occasions, but still Connie feels a distance between them, remaining profoundly separate from him despite their physical closeness. One day Connie and Mellors meet by coincidence in the woods, and they have sex on the forest floor. This time they experience simultaneous orgasms. This is a revelatory and profoundly moving experience for Connie. She begins to adore Mellors, feeling that they have connected on some deep sensual level. She is proud to believe that she is pregnant with Mellor's child. He is a real living man as opposed to the emotionally dead intellectual and the dehumanized industrial worker. They grow progressively closer to each other, connecting on a primordial physical level as woman and man rather than as two minds or intellectual. Connie goes away to Venus for a vacation while she's gone. Miller's old wife returned, causing a scandal. Connie returned to find that Miller has been fired as a result of the negative rumors spread about him by his resentful wife, against whom he has initiated divorce proceeding. Connie admits to Clifford that she's pregnant with Miller's baby, but Clifford refused to give her a divorce. The novel ends with Miller's working on a farm, waiting for his divorce, and Connie living with her sister, also waiting. The hope exists that in the end they will meet together. So this is the story of Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H.Lawrence, how the story of a sensual woman, Connie, and the story of his cold husband. So let us see how many characters involved in this novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover. Lady Chatterley, the first character, the protagonist of the novel. Before her marriage, she's simply constant read, an intellectual and social progressive, the daughter of Sir Malcolm and the sister of Hilda. When she marries Clifford Chatterley, a minor nobleman, Constance, or as she is known throughout the novel, Connie assumes his title, becoming Lady Chatterley. Lady Chatterley's Lover chronicles Connie's maturation as a woman and a sensual being. She comes to despise her weak, ineffectual husband and to love Oliver Mellors, the gamekeeper on her husband's estate. In the process of leaving her husband and conceiving a child with Mellors, Lady Chatterley's moved from the heartless, bloodless world of the intelligentsia and aristocracy into a vital and profound connection rooted in sensuality and sexual fulfillment. Oliver Mellors, another character, the lover in the novel's title. Mellor is the gamekeeper on Clifford Chatterley's estate. He is aloof, sarcastic, intelligent, and noble. He was born near Rugby and worked as a blacksmith until he ran off to the army to escape an unhappy marriage. In the army, he rose to become a commissioned lieutenant in unusually high position for a member of working class, but was forced to leave the army because of the case of Numina, which left him in a poor health. Disappointed by a string of unfulfilling love affair, Mellor lives in quiet isolation, from which he is redeemed by his relationship with Connie. The passion unleashed by their lovemaking forges a profound bond between them. At the end of the novel, Mellor is fired from his job as a gamekeeper and he works as a laborer on a farm, waiting for a divorce from his wife so he can marry Connie. Mellor is a representative in this novel of the noble savage. He is a man with innate nobility, but who remains impervious to pettiness and emptiness. So Clifford Chatterley, another character, Connie's husband. Clifford Chatterley is a minor nobleman who becomes paralyzed from the waist down during World War I. As a result of his injury, Clifford is impotent. He retired to his familial estate, Rugby, where he becomes first as a successful writer, then a powerful businessman. But the gap between Connie and him grows even wider. Obsessed with financial success and fame, he is not truly interested in love, and she feels that he became passionless and empty. He turns for solace to his nurse and companion, Mrs. Bolton, who worship him as a nobleman, even as she despises him for his casual arrogance. Clifford represents everything that his novel despised, but the modern English nobleman. Mrs. Bolton, Ivy Bolton, is a Clifford nurse and caretaker. She is competent, complex, attractive, middle-aged woman. Years before the action in this novel, her husband died in the accident in the mines owned by Clifford. So another character, Michaelis, a successful Irish playwright with whom Connie has an affair early in the novel. Hilda Reed, Connie's older sister by 2 years, the daughter of Sir Malcolm. Hilda shared Connie's cultured upbringing and intellectual education. She remains unliberated by raw sensuality that changed Connie's life. Miss Sir Malcolm Reed, the father of Connie and Hilda, is an acclaimed painter and aesthete and unabashed sensualist. Tommy Dukes, Charles Hammond Barry, Duncan Forbes, Bertha Scott, Squire Winter, Daniel Goviani. These are the characters involved in this novel and by D.H.Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's Lover, filled with scenes of intimately beauty, moving story of Constance Chatterley. This is the novel written by D.H.Lawrence. It remained banned and it was treated as an obscene, but later on the ban was lifted from this novel. I hope you will enjoy it when you go through these pages. Thank you very much.